Hello guys and welcome to my Rent a Girlfriend analysis and critique. So, first of all, I will put myself here. So, what I want to say with this video. So, it was a stolen kind of idea that I saw on a comment in podcasts and Christian anime channel, which I invite you to subscribe to him. And I wanted to make, normally I will have done Christian anime analysis, so with all the Bible verses, but in this case, I don't even think I have to go and look for it. You know, I'm Christian, the Bible, it's like the most important thing, but like, I don't think it's even worth pulling it out. So you can maybe start with something fresh. Okay, let's put Kami just for the for the sake of the argument. So you had this girl that can talk, who is not always able to talk because she is very anxious, and then all the romance, and then maybe you start with some romance. Okay, the problem is that the originality that you have for your idea ends at just, oh, I will make character like this and that. If I see your originality like stops there, I kinda don't enjoy this, because you start with a cool idea like Rent a Girlfriend starts with a really cool idea, and then it kinda goes into a loophole when it's just the same things recreated, reproposed. So I'm like, if you do the same thing, okay, if you do the same genre, but then you don't spend time actually, if you repropose the same formula despite the originality that makes it outstanding, that makes him cool, instead of others, that I do not really find that artwork so interesting to look at, which is the same why I dropped 100 Girlfriends, which maybe I'll have to do an analysis. I don't know about it. I watched just the 3 episodes, so I could do it. It's going to be like really compacted, but you know. So without further ado, let's just go and talk about what I think. So, am I defending Rent a Girlfriend? No. I want to play devil's advocate, which is why there is me with the advocate thing here, the phoenix here. So I want to try and giving him the benefit of the doubt. So the first part is going to be me, the criticizing Rent a Girlfriend, and then the second part is going to be playing devil's advocate and try to see more of what maybe others don't see. Okay? So these are all questions that I had in mind. Why did Reiji write Kazuya like that? Why is the plot so disjointed? What's the true nature of the girls and his work itself? And so, to find answers, I developed different theories that we're going to see the second part, surprisingly all together. And so let's just go. So, Kazuya, the loser even by loser standards. So, Kazuya, as I said here, it's essentially a man-child, okay? He starts like a good loser character, something like Subaru and Rodeos, but then it seems like an anxious, full guy, where all these thoughts just paralyze him on the spot, which I understand that he's a loser, and, you know, losers tends to have this thing where they get anxious and they don't know what to do. But if this means that you have to stop your plot, because in 4 seasons of content, Kazuya did not grow in a way that justifies the number of content. Okay, you have 4 seasons of Kazuya just being himself. And while yes, he did have some improvement, it's so little, it's as if we are on a board game, okay? And he starts at square one. And you would think that at season 4, it's like at the very least half of this board game. But then you realize that he's just a square 4. So you understand that he has moved from that square 1, but it's still at the beginning of the board game. And to me, it doesn't justify all this content. Really, all this content. In fact, maybe you could even do like a big, long film. Because it's just, there are so many episodes where you could even skip it and you wouldn't lose a lot of the anime whatsoever. And these thoughts, another thing about these thoughts, at first they were used as an insight to his mind. Okay, we had to understand that Kazuya had this problem of being an anxious guy. But now, after 4 seasons of just this, it really almost feels like the episode, like they're used to fill the episode that get to the 24-minute mark. That is what I mean. Now, that is a weird argument, okay? Weird argument that I heard. At the very least, the story moves forward, right? This is Reiji, which is the same one from the cover that I made for the PowerPoint. So, the thing is that it feels like it should move forward. As I said, remember the board game analysis, okay? The example that I made with the board game. He did move from 1 square to square 1 to square 4, but it's too little of a movement, of an improvement to justify 4 seasons. I mean, dude, if we want to end to the end of this board game, are you telling me that we will need like 100 seasons for just this guy to end the board game? No, dude, it's like, no. That it's not acceptable. So, yeah, it feels like a bottomless abyss of overthinking and anxiety. So, the thing is that season 1, Kazuya, look at the skirts of the girls when they go up the stairs. Season 4, Kazuya still does the same. Conclusion, the improvement, if there is any, it's so little to actually say, oh, he had a massive improvement. No, he had a little, tiny, almost insignificant improvement. That's it. So, the show is a narrative mess. Themes lack structure. Arcs go nowhere. Now, what I mean? Kazuya arcs doesn't seem to go nowhere. Okay? Doesn't seem, as I said, he is at square 4. It's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's really slow, like painfully slow, this improvement that he's trying to develop from Kazuya. So let's talk about Chizuru, because as you can see here, the girls have some actually more do have more improvement than the main character, and only Chizuru has an actually incredible, beautiful arc to actually go look at it. It's weird because it really feels like it should be Chizuru the main character, not Kazuya. So let's talk. But even Chizuru, it's not this incredibly written character. So let's talk just about Chizuru. Okay, Chizuru pay-per-view princess. So Chizuru is painted as the bold princess, the queen of kindness, so holy that she's dubbed by Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And so, what I'm trying to say here is that she is meant to be this perfect girlfriend for everybody, but ends up just being like emotional and unacceptable. Now, she never truly shows herself. And when she does it, like in season 3, which is like crying in front of Kazuya because of the grandmother dying, it feels like it's more of a bad day happening. In fact, the next episode, it's just it's almost as if nothing changed. Everything snapped back to normal straight away. In fact, even in season 4, we have what we see. We have Chizuru paying back Kazuya because she's still in the work mindset. Oh, I cried in front of my customer. It was a bad thing to do, and so here's your money back. And he's like, no, do you remember what all this thing that we did? I mean, do you still, despite everything, still think that I talk and stay with you just because I want to have a fake girlfriend? No, I really care about you. I really do love you as a woman, but she doesn't get it. And the plot doesn't want it to get it. In fact, it's that, and then completely forgot by the season so far. So, yeah, it's more of an episode that happened one bad day. Oh, but she's strong, she cries in private. Then why it's shown so little? Every time Chizuru cries or have these things, it doesn't really impact the thing. Okay, so I will, after the grandma dies, you could have done, you meaning the author, I think you could have done, you could have shown Chizuru crying more in her private room. Instead, in the anime, it's like one time. Couldn't you do like more? And and then by crying, she, which she is in like in this steel armor, in this thick steel armor of an emotionless. Maybe by crying, she opens up a bit, and this is not a thing that I'm seeing, despite the growing closeness over seasons. In 4 seasons, their dynamics changes to almost not at all. This is what I think. So, let's go instead with Mami, okay? Mami, Lady of Infamy. So, Mami, it's supposed to act like this vindictive, almost manipulator style of an antagonist, because she left him from the first episode, if I remember correctly. And after that, we see that Mami, once she discovers some things about the truth, she then tries to actually understand what is going on. Okay? But the problem is that while she's trying to understand what is the relationship between Chizuru and Kazuya, it's like in 4 seasons, only now it seems that she is trying to actively do something. And to me, 4 seasons where she just collected, data and info, it's too much. This is almost Ein's level of scrutiny for collecting data. To me, this is not a good way to use your main antagonist. So, yeah, I don't really believe this was a really clever idea to showing an antagonist and then throw it out the window immediately after you don't know where to insert this. I mean, yeah, those scenes in where you show me that Mami it's like trying to understand things because she's trying to pull in the strings. After 4 seasons, it really feels like she didn't basically do anything. Ruka, please notice me, senpai. So, Ruka starts in this really weird way with an interesting premise, because think about it, okay? So, apart from Mami, you want to insert other things that pull Kazuya away from Chizuru. Okay, so what's the interesting, intelligent move? To give it a love interest, okay? But the way it's handled, Ruka, okay, this is weird, because what I would thought about it would be like how I personally would have done it. It would have been something like Kazuya go and meet Ruka, which maybe it's like a friend of her. If you want to go into cliche, you can make like the childhood friend of Kazuya. If you really want to do some cliches, I don't recommend it, but anyway. So, you could do something like that. And he goes day by day asking advices from girls, and then from his girlfriend, and from his male friend. Okay, you could do something like that, and then this girl slowly starts to feel empathy for this, which ironically it's what Mini almost seems like, but then she has a completely different thing, the different approach, different role in the story. So I would have enjoyed Ruka if it was something like this. Okay, starts with an interesting premise to get thrown out, which is a shame. It could have been brought up, and it gets shown only at the end of the episode. Okay, yes, this is also another thing, which is the thing that she had a heart problem, and it's like it got shown like something. Oh, not so fun fact about Ruka. She had a heart problem. It's like, okay, it's brought up as some sort of fun fact, but at the end of the day, it's like irrelevant. This is why I made this phrase. Hey, did you know that I had a heart problem in my childhood? It's something like that. And then Ruka falls in love for absurdly superficial reasons. Okay. Oh, by the way, my heart skips when I'm with you, so now I love you. She pulls up. Okay, she pulls up her phone, and she pulls the heart beating app. And she understands that she beats faster when she is with him. And so by this she understood that she's in love. You know, I don't even think I have to talk about that. I think it actually it's actually pretty self-explanatory. It's really weird, almost absurd level. Yeah. I want to be fair, because I really like the character. So the character of the girls are really cool. But apart from that, the character, because she's like cute, energetic, sort of sweet. She has this childish thing, which, but yeah, apart from the character, it's not like this. We can at the very least say that Ruka does have a spine, so she does have some character, but like, apart from that, it's not like it's used in this incredible, masterful way. Sumi, the background vibe character. So Sumi is shy and cute, and that's it. So the thing is that we don't know about, at the very least from the anime alone, I wasn't able to understand a lot about her. She doesn't develop. She only exists as a support with basically no backstory. What we know is that she has a father, which I made a random joke here. If you want to read it, I'm not gonna read it. She also admires Chizuru and wants to be an independent girl by a girlfriend at rent, like Chizuru. So it's like saying, to me, it's like saying, hey, do you want to be an independent girl? Just download Instagram, or even worse, OnlyFans, and start dating guys, like a lot of them. So it's like this weird thing. Oh, I have to be independent. So instead of going to, some normal jobs like Ruka actually did, she went to Chizuru to ask if I can. Now, you could interpret that scene as just asking to Chizuru how she is so overconfident. But then when she starts being a girlfriend at rent, it kinda throws everything out. So to me, Chizuru just said, oh, to be independent, I advise you to do this. And she really thought that it was a good idea. To me, it's really, I don't know. I really don't know. Now, let's go to Mini, which has a really beautiful image here that I don't want to show. Now, to be fair, I did not show something like a perverse fan service, but it's like, it's a bit too, I don't want to risk monetization, I don't want to risk, she's not like naked, the photo, it's not like naked, but like, I still don't like it. If you know the manga, you probably know where this image comes from, and you can see that it's not like naked or something. I just don't want to show more fan service that I need to. Okay, this is more than enough. This top half here. So I don't know why, but to me it seems like Mini. It's some sort of Gogora. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you think. But that's the vibe that gave me. Which, ironically, she's a streamer, so, Lamau, but... so she's hyperactive, noisy, and for some reason which I don't understand, she's obsessed with Kazuya losing his virginity to Chizuru. Like, all the problems that he has to reunite him, to unite himself with Chizuru, actually talking to Chizuru, trying to, as the Bible said, become one flesh. Male and female becomes one flesh. What it mean? It means that your partner of choice, that girl or man that you choose, it's going to feel you. It's going to compensate you as if you are one being. Okay, so this fact that the first thing that came to her mind was, oh, he has to lose his virginity to actually be a girlfriend or a boyfriend. It's like, dude, this is so anti-biblical, which I almost thought about doing an entire video about this. And maybe if you want to, I can do it. Just tell me in the comments. But it's really a weird thing to say. And as I said, maybe I should do a video, a real Christian video about this. With verses and all, but I don't really know. In fact, also, she lies and arranges some sort of date master plan to get them to sleep together. If you remember from season 3 where they go to the train to make the last scene of their film. Yeah, that one. So, Reiji, the freaky author here. So, the even more fun part in all of this, that it seems reasonable to suggest that Reiji appears to have an obsession over Chizuru. And I'm not joking. So, like, this is what I suppose it's like his caution. I don't know. I guess it's his room. I don't know. Now, I don't know. I want to suppose. Now, I also have to say that this, those legs here, there is another version of this thing where Reiji just draws her without no, it's not these are not the socks. I don't remember the name, but basically she's just with her bare naked leg, which are legs, but it's a bit I have others also, like here in the shower. Let's quickly answer this with him drawing Chizuru in a futon. I'm like, my questions are this, okay? First, how was he able to make the hips here? Or the hips there. How was he able to? First. Second, are you telling me that this guy just went around in his house, but not even in his house, because you see Chizuru being drawn over picture in the train, or the train station, at the bar? But it's always something like this. He takes a real place and then draws Chizuru on top of it, which I'm not against it. I mean, it's cool. And I think it's actually cool, this thing here. But the problem is that the more you keep going like this is a bit too much. Like showing her in the shower. I mean, dude, for real? Do you know what kind of message you are telling us? Yes? You understand what you're trying to what you're trying to say with all of this, yeah? There's only one thing that I can say to summarize this thing here.
Ah, this is bad!
Yeah, it is bad indeed, Heavy. It is bad indeed. I also took the Putis engage because it's beautiful. Conclusion. It sucks. But, it's theory time with MathPad. So, what I mean is that now we're at the second part when we talk about what I think. We try to put logic where logic isn't supposed to go, okay? Where the sun doesn't shine. Okay, we try to be devil's advocate. What I think, which is the reason why there is Kazuya as Reiji here, is that the first theory that I have is that Kazuya is the author, and I explain why. As I already mentioned, he's a very strange and contradictory character sometimes. So why is this? When compared to other losers like Subaru from ReZero, Rudeus from Mushoku Tensei, they seem to be starting from a more or less the same level. They do have some things in common, okay? And I list them: arrogance, lust, sometimes laziness. The difference that I personally come to conclude is that those two are perfect failures, or failures destined to become hero, redeemed failures, okay? They are destined to become hero, to become best version of themselves. The problem with Kazuya, in comparison, Kazuya isn't a redeemed hero. He is an ordinary man, stuck in anxiety, insecurity, and lust. So what Reiji is trying to say, I think, is that he wants to take a step back. Instead of making a realistic, to make a more redeemed hero, he tries to make a more realistic loser. Even if he has to make it more loser than other characters like Subaru and Rudeus has to be. So he over-exaggerates his loser problems because this is more realistic. Okay, he wants to attract all the losers so that all the losers could see themselves into Kazuya. Of course, the problem being is that if you do this too much, I mean, if it's too over-exaggerated, little people will be able to actually see themselves. Few people are going to see themselves into Kazuya. But, apart from that, as we said before, the author feels particularly involved and invested in events to the point of drawing in some creation as if they were real. So, I don't think it's absurd to think that since it seems too specific, the suspicion that it could be some sort of autobiography hidden like manga or anime, I don't think it should be underestimated. In fact, I think it explains pretty much everything. Kazuya could reflect the personal failure of Reiji Miyajima, incapable of writing a true maturation that he didn't or hadn't experienced, and that took him time. And so the failures, the anxiety, and the mental lapses are all reflection of his soul, which was fighting against its own flesh to grow. Or maybe it's still fighting, or, it's just some past events which was fighting. The conclusion is that the repetition of narrative partners reflects an internal block, either of the author or the protagonist, or both, okay? So, now, second theory. Now, why am I bringing Sumi? Okay? Now, I was thinking, stay with me. Okay, I was thinking, if the author, the main character, is some sort of more spiritual theme, maybe even the girls and other characters may resemble the same pattern. Maybe those characters has some sort of spiritual thing going on, some sort of spiritual meaning. I was looking for the word, I was not able to find it. So, now I'm going to explain why Sumi, for me, makes sense to be the inner conscience, okay? So, the fact that Sumi appears so little is very strange, okay? She's also one of the few girls, and to be fair, there's also Mini and Sumi. Mini and Sumi are the only girls where Kazuya is able to talk fluently. It's not like with Ruka, or with Chizuru, or with Mami, that he's like not able to construct a sentence. With these girls, he's actually able to, and even backfires at them sometimes. So I think it's a major hint of what these girls are supposed to be. So it seems like she only emerges in moments of crisis, when Kazuya no longer knows who to turn to, and this could reflect that perhaps reflecting on the truth that can only be found when we are silent, and listen to our deep self and the deep pains veiled in the heart, spirit, and mind. Therefore, I propose that Sumi is Kazuya's inner conscience, primarily because she also occasionally talks to Chizuru. So I deduce that she's more like this inner conscience in general, but especially for Kazuya, because he's the protagonist. So, now, let's talk about Mini. Has the determination. No, this is not some sort of Undertale, but kinda. So, this is not an Undertale reference, but yeah, that kind. So, Mini arrives in season 3, which coincidentally is the story arc. Even if it's a big word, story arc, I added this because because I always forgot about to say this, but in the recording. So, where Kazuya becomes more reliable and begins to take a little more initiative. In fact, in season 3, it's where Kazuya finally does something, takes action, and the first to give him this motivation boost to actually go and do something, it's Mini. She is the one who pushes for action, even provoking Kazuya and Chizuru on the train ride. Therefore, I propose she is the emerging rational will or determination. Now, before going to the other girls, I have to quickly explain, okay? Explanations on various differences between Mini and Sumi. So, it might seem similar in theory, but they are different in nature. Here's why. Sumi always arrives in situations where intimacy and silence are required, okay? That is, in moments of profound crisis or emotional revelation, like the death of Chizuru's grandmother, the theater date, even if it wasn't proper a date, but whatever. She represents the mirror of Kazuya's true self, his most fragile, empathetic, and pure side. Okay? She helps him find the courage to act. She is therefore the whisper of conscience, the emotional and vulnerable side. Instead, Mini appears in moments where Kazuya must make a decision or to react. She therefore has an expansive and provocative role. That is the voice of the nascent determination, the internal coach who challenges Kazuya to stop complaining, inciting him to create concrete action. She spurs him to abandon his passivity and to put his good intention into practice. Mini is the cry of will, the rational push to action. So there is, so we can make an analogy. It's as if they're on a bank Okay, and they have to rob the bank. Sumi passed the bomb with the flint and steel, while Mini is the one helping Kazuya turning on this bomb. Okay, I don't know if it's clear. Tell me in the comments if it's clear. Okay, I'm trying to make it logical, but I'm trying my best. I swear I'm trying my best. So let's go with second theory, always of the girls. Ruka as last impulsive desire. Okay, Ruka, on the other hand, I propose is an impulsive desire for affection and search for emotional validation as possession. Because Ruka and Kazuya possess the same traits, which is that they are trying to find a partner that overcompensates the void that they have in their heart, which the Christian way would be that void can be filled by God, but I understand if some others want to rebel and do other stuff, I don't care. Personally, it's like, do whatever you want, but the sense, the meaning is the same, okay? They have a void in their heart, and they want to compensate this void by going to a partner in the hope that this partner fills their void. This is not how in reality works, but this is what they think, which is supported by her almost non-existent motivation for loving Kazuya and her childish nature, even because she's 17 and she's a pervert, but okay. So Mami as trauma of the past. So what I mean is that it's simply, I think that Mami is more like some sort of shadow dark of his dark past. Okay, it's almost those intrusive thoughts that makes you think, oh, I should have done that. I wish I said that. I done that. I think it's a sort of toxic shadow who judges Kazuya, exposing lines and revealing painful truth. So this is what I think. It's kind of short on this girls because I think it's pretty straightforward for them, but I could be wrong. Okay, I have to look at the next episode. So maybe in the next episode I'm going to be debunked by everything I'm just saying, but I don't know. So let's go. Okay, Chizuru as the ideal self. I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but I have more argument to explain why Chizuru is the perfect girl. Okay, but not in the sense of how the anime portrays her. It's like not like this. Oh, her skin is so smooth. Oh, her hair is so beautiful. Oh, she has some beautiful peaches. So Chizuru is an attainable idea, a muse, a goddess of beauty and goodness, the protagonist's ideal woman. In Jungle and Philosophy, yeah, for a theory about Rent-A-Girlfriend, I actually did search about philosophy to actually understand this thing. Think how much I'm actually trying to be devil's advocate here. The soul in a man is the projection of the inner feminine. That is the ideal of beauty, love, purity, and wisdom that one does not yet possess. Therefore, Chizuru embodies this archetype, and it is the dream that Kazuya pursues, the perfect woman who reflects what he would like to be. Like every soul, Chizuru, it's more of a desire than reality. And this is why she appears splendid but yet distant. She doesn't reciprocate until the man matures. And this is because if she's easily attainable, she fades as an ideal. So, although she seems mutable, as I said, there is some changes in Chizuru character arc, shows small signs of change, like mourning a grandmother, emotional breakdown, growing closer to Kazuya, even if growing closer it's like 1 millimeter at times. That has to be like another movie after 5 centimeter away from you. Yeah, we need a Rent-A-Girlfriend version like 5 millimeters away from you. This breakdown are the small step by which the soul, I forgot, because I forgot to translate this. I was going really fast. Okay, I'm sorry. Oops. So these breakdowns are the small step by which the soul transforms, precisely because the man truly draws closer to her. Until Kazuya integrates these values that Chizuru has, Chizuru will remain an accessible queen. Okay, so this is why it's so distant, because Kazuya has to become Chizuru to actually finally engage with Chizuru. So, now, theory number 3, Fairytale Princess opening. Now, this is a really cool artwork. And now, what do I mean? In season 4, you have this thing where every girl has some sort of princess. Okay? So, what I wanted to try and look was, could it be that there is more? Maybe there is some personality in it. Maybe there is something that they are trying to say about these girls. Okay? So, let's go one by one and see what I was able to conclude, what I think is the best way to see in all of this. So, as a fairy tale book, we open it and we start with Ruka as Snow White. Now, this is a pretty explanatory thing. Snow White possesses a beautiful heart and purity. As Snow White waits for the prince's kiss with innocent trust, Ruka also awaits Kazuya, convinced that love will awaken her happiness. So, so the reason why it's Snow White and all these princes, it's trying to draw a parallel. It doesn't have to be Ruka is Snow White, but the fairy tale that goes around the lore, the plot of Snow White, should take something that looks like Ruka. So, openness to love. Both have a kind and open soul ready to give of themselves if placed in the right condition. So, what I'm trying to say, if it wasn't clear, is that Ruka may or not be. So, she may be Snow White or not, it's not important. The point is that by drawing her as Snow White, you are telling us a connection between a character and this other character. Or maybe in the show, in the character, in the sense, not that Ruka is Snow White, but the point, the way that those princess operates and works, or even get saved, should resemble those girls in Rent a Girlfriend. And now I'll show you even how. With Sumi as Little Red Riding Hood. So, here it is. So, like the little girl in Red Cloak, Sumi is shy and vulnerable. Okay? Little Red Riding Hood runs to the wolf to save her grandmother, and Sumi also appears precisely in moments of crisis to comfort Kazuya and guide him out of the woods of his distress. This could explain a lot. Now, it could be a little of a stretch, but let's go with the others. So, let's go with the others. Let's go with Mini as Alice in Wonderland. I think this is Alice in Wonderland. Now, I don't know if it's Alice in Wonderland. I could be wrong, because I didn't remember this castle here. But the heart shape here could be like the Heart Queen. And this actually does remind me of the Alice in Wonderland. So, it could be it. So, just like Alice exploring a bizarre, dare I say, weird world, Mini is noisy, breaks the mold, and forces Kazuya to see reality from an absurd perspective. A touch of madness. Her exuberance transcends the norm, suggesting that Kazuya's internal worlds are confused and bizarre forms. So, Atta, no, her exuberance transcends the norm, suggesting that Kazuya's internal world, of confused and bizarre thoughts may actually link to this character here that we saw throughout the season 3, which surprisingly I didn't saw in season 3, which is weird and may debunk my theory, but I will see maybe in the next episode. It will be, I would, but no, wait. I could save myself by saying that she just ignites, okay? She ignites the bomb, but at the end of the day, it's Kazuya that brings the bomb to rob the bank, okay? At the end of the day, so she just ignites it. But then it's Kazuya then doing all the work. It's like that Mini is giving him a push. Okay? Sumi, it's like a shoulder to cry on. And Mini, it's the one who give him the push. So, Mami, it's not Cinderella in the normal way. But it's some sort of Cinderella upside down. Now, what do I mean? Mami was supposed to be Kazuya's princess. In fact, in the opening, he brings her the crystal shoe as the prince in the original fairy tale does. The shoe shatters because Mami is no longer Kazuya's princess. The prince loses the princess supposedly at midnight like in the fairy tale. The dragon shows into the opening, shows the problem and disaster that Mami is about to bring to the plot. Finally, dare I say. And the princess parallel is just to make the point. It's not trying to say that Mami is Cinderella, but it's trying to make the point using Cinderella. Okay? This is why I said with Ruka that it doesn't have to be Ruka Snow White. It can just make the point by bringing a fairy tale like Cinderella. So, Chizuru is some sort of a hybrid. I'm going to explain it why. So, her green dress is... I messed up. So, her green dress, crown, red roses all over the clothes. Now, you don't see her. You don't see it here because I didn't want to get copyrighted. But, so she has also the castle and the moon beside her. Resemble different fairy tales, which I was not able to understand which was it. Okay? I was not able. It's not, I don't think it's a classical Disney princess. So, now I explain it. Those that to me seems more probable. So, Rapunzel. We have the towers and the isolation. Chizuru is initially isolated, not physically, but emotionally and psychologically. Okay? She is isolated on this tower, and she is physically, emotionally, and psychologically isolated. Then, Chizuru looks at the window, wishing for freedom, okay? To transcend family expectation and build a life on her own, like Rapunzel's dream of leaving the tower. The romantic also fits because she is then rescued by Kazuya, which is supposed to be like this rope that where Chizuru eventually will lean over. There is the problem that there is no direct visual elements like long hair, or there is the tower, but it's not a tower, it's a castle. It's different, now, you could say that it doesn't change much, but I wanted to say because it's not like a tower. It's a tower, yes, but of a castle. It's not like just a tower. So it's partially symbolic. Then we have Aurora of the Sleeping Beauty, the castle, the dragon, all fit the Aurora fairy tales. And it symbolizes also the expectation, because Aurora is saved by a kiss of love, which is a symbolism that could represent the reawakening of feelings in Chizuru thanks to Kazuya. Now, there is a problem because Chizuru appears very much awake, and the Aurora is supposed to be sleeping, as in the cover. So, yeah, it's only marginal value. And then there is Fiona. Okay, I know the Shrek is not a Disney fairy tale, it's more like a parody of it, but hear me out. So, Fiona is a princess who hides in an alternative side, which is the ogre one. And Chizuru also has this public side and private side, okay, that we see in our private, intimate moments in the anime. Then there is the dragon, like in Fiona. And now I know that the dragon is not important because it's more a mommy thing, but you could say that it's like just a common antagonist in fairy tales. But the more thing we can find, the better. So then she has a green dress and a crown. So aesthetically, Fiona is the one which is closer to Chizuru in appearance in the moment. Also, Fiona, despite being a princess, she fights. Okay, she is we could even dare say it's a strong feminine woman. Chizuru also is a strong, determined, capable girl. Conclusion: Fiona appears as the most convincing visually and emotionally, even if it's not a classical princess. Okay, so we have it here, and it kinda reminds it we have a problem because here, I don't know if you can see here where my the mouse is, but here in the dress of Chizuru there are roses printed on the dress, so it's not like completely equal, but it kinda looks it. It would be really funny if like all Disney princess and then there is Fiona. It would be like really cool. Now, this is my prediction of what is going to happen in season 4. So take this as a grain of salt, but this is what I believe. So, the Maminator prediction number 1. In season 4, Mami will either reveal the truth in a traumatic way, or she'll start building her own stage when she is going to reveal it. Why she didn't do it despite 3 seasons of collecting data? I think it's because since the show is painfully slow, she also has to painfully construct this to build this bridge in a painfully slowing way. But the narrative here is that she has to first build a bridge of trust. Okay, now I don't remember how much time has passed between what happened with when Mami starts working for the grandma. So I don't remember exactly, but even if it's like a month, okay, the bridge may not be like finished. This bridge of trust and hope, between Kazuya's family and Mami. So if she creates this bridge and becomes like sure of this thing that Kazuya family can trust Mami, then can she say whatever she wants to, and they will have no reason to not believe her. Now, I have to be fair. This is kinda, I mean, it's not kind of debunked, but there is an ulterior motivation in the previous episode, the 8th episode, which says that Mami apparently wants to save Chizuru from, I don't know, that terrorist of Kazuya. So it's not like debunked, this Maminator, but it's like it could be an ulterior motive. Okay, so. Second, Chizuru may not be the happy ending. Now, I haven't read the manga, so I don't know how it ends. Okay, I'm an only anime watcher. Okay, if I collect the manga, it's because I studied, because I'm an aspiring Christian mangaka. So I look at it, I study it, and to appreciate the author's work, so I buy those manga to sustain for him. So I think the best thing for Kazuya, because I wanted to think how would I end this manga if I had to choose it, if I'm currently writing it now. So if it were for me, I will make Chizuru not the ending for Kazuya. So to leave him alone, have a period where he's alone and improves as a person, and then he gets together with someone. Or even more original, is left without a partner, which it's difficult knowing that it's Rent a Girlfriend, but who knows. So this is more of my opinion on how I would write it. Now, Kazuya hit rock bottom. This is something that I am sure of it. So Kazuya will hit a point of no return, and if I'm right with Mami, I have reason to believe that will happen here on next season. So he will hit a point of no return where he's going to either reawake, so like a redemption arc, or it's just going to end it there. And that's it. Hand of the Suffering. Stay weird, stay blessed. Glory be to God. We see you in the next video.